forward to.
Yeah. And right now he's behind bars, and that kind of is what it is. But, God rest those brothers, Biggie and Tupac, and made that legacy continue to live on, man.
Exactly. Facts.
Yes, sir. Well, somebody's legacy that's going to continue to live on, SamAnt, we know, is Academy Award-winning actress Monique. Well, she filed a lawsuit, SamAnt, against Netflix the other day. Now, she's pretty much accusing them of discriminating against her as a Black woman. Now, the suit that was obtained by CNN states that Netflix offered Monique $500,000 to appear in a 1-hour comedy special while signing multi-million-dollar deals with other comedians that include Jerry Seinfeld, Amy Schumer, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Ellen DeGeneres. Now, the terms of Netflix offer to Monique, they say, were discriminatory based on her gender, race, color. The suit states, and I quote, "The offer tried to perpetuate the drastic pay gap experienced by Black women when compared to both men and white people." Now, in January 2018, Monique called for the boycott, as we know, SamAnt, of Netflix. Of course, it didn't happen, but she went on Charlemagne the God, Steve Harvey, a few shows, pretty much, not complaining, but putting her her words out there and wanted people to get behind her. And now she's taking them to court for an undisclosed amount. How do you feel about it? And do you think it'll be successful, SamAnt?
Maybe. Netflix is going to have to prove that they don't. Now, she also said that the chief communications officer of Netflix once used the N-word in the conference meeting in 2018. And she claimed that Netflix allowed Kevin Spacey, who's, if you know that name, is involved in some deep water, said the N-word and was allowed to say the N-word on the set of House of Cards without any consequence. She's coming prepared. Whether you agree with what she's doing or not, whether you agree that she deserves the money that she went out to get or not, Netflix is going to have to prove that they didn't do this, or she's getting paid. And I think that she deserves it. I think that she may have a point on a lot of these things. We've seen Netflix be very generous when it comes to a lot of Black cinema, Black comedy. It's definitely found its market. Now, one could say that they profit very heavily off of that market because they throw some of our favorites. I was in there watching Money Talks a couple of days ago, just enjoying, reminiscing on the joint. They give us a lot of our entertainment. Love Jones is on there. They know what they're catering to. They know who they're trying to stream to. Right. So one can argue it's a business move on their part. They're going to have to prove behind the scenes that they're doing everything and complying under these regulations the right way, and no discriminatory action is being done. Right. Because like I said, Monique is prepared. And we'll see what happens. What do you think?
Well, Netflix did put out a statement in regard to that. They put, "We care deeply about inclusion, equality, and diversity, and take any accusation of discrimination very seriously. We believe our opening offer to Monique was fair, which is why we will be fighting this lawsuit." So Netflix, intends on fighting this. Their money's long, but Monique, obviously has some money to fight as well. Now, I think that Monique, may have, a basis here to win, because if you ask me, and of course I don't, represent that many people, I think that she is definitely deserving of what she's asking for. Now, you said, I think back then they were talking about that it was based on like numbers and stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Right. And that's going to be a good argument on their part. Right. Because if they go ahead and start comparing numbers and reasonings as to why, and they scale it, and they go, okay, she did X and Y, Z amount of numbers, and that's why we gave it to her. It's going to be hard for her to defend that. Now, some of the discriminatory actions and some of the other things, maybe, but if they don't equate with the numbers, then Netflix, we see how this shit works in the courtroom. They may have the upper hand on this one, but we'll see what happens, man. It depends on what that scale is.
Yeah, definitely. And I forgot, how they were doing it, but would you say Monique, though, in your opinion, SamAnt, is one of the top comedians, female comedians right now?
Right now, you know what? I can't. That's not an accurate statement for me to say because I haven't really watched any of the female comedians as of late. Right. When you have the all-time conversation, she's definitely in the all-time conversation. If she's still doing it, she's still on stage banging. I'm putting Monique in my top 5 female comedians, top 3 female comedians easily right now. I don't think that there's a lot of females out there that do it better than she did. She was one from the era that gave it to you raw, real, and uncut. And there's a certain respect level that goes to those people because they were unapologetic. They didn't care who they offended. And that's who gave you the genuine funny shit. So She definitely one of the top comedians.
Yeah, and I think it's the right thing for her to do. She feels like she has legitimate gripe, but she can point some things out that Netflix did, and she's accusing them, you know, of discriminatory practices against women and black people and whatnot. Put your stuff on the table. Let Netflix put their stuff on the table, and let the judge deal with it, because obviously she's not going away and walking away lightly with this. I don't blame her. I support her in this. Now, I don't know, I don't watch Netflix a lot, but we see that they have definitely a lot of black programming and whatnot. But I'm definitely interested in seeing the outcome of this particular case. What they're going to put on the table, she's going to put on the table. But I don't know. It's good though.
Yeah, facts. I will say this in closing. Monique has been accused of complaining. Monique has been accused of a lot of things. If in fact this does go away and it doesn't go in her favor, she can no longer talk about this. This has to be done with, because you got to move on. You have a brand, you have a following.
Right.
You can continue to do your thing and stamp your legacy as being one of the greatest in the game. You can't let this dark cloud hold over and just put a stain on your career and be the thing that people remember by you. It has to move on.
Right.
Once this is over, you can't hear about it no more.
Yeah, definitely. We wish Monique the best luck over here at Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Definitely, man.
Facts.
Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast, episode 264 tonight. Want to jump to our last topic of the day, SamAnt. We are approaching the 50-minute mark. It feels good.
Yeah, man.
Up in here. The other day, I was telling you, I was scrolling down Instagram, or one of them, YouTube, Instagram, and I've seen that The Haven, which was, pretty much Jay-Z's ex right-hand man back in the day, went on Vlad TV, and the title reads, The Haven on Jay-Z's role in his drug operation. And I seen that, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, we know Jay-Z talked about, he admitted that, but for somebody to go on and now like talking about drug operations and what they did and how many kilos they sold and what they sold it for and how many cars they brought with it. I just wanted to have this discussion once again, in light of the whole ARAB situation. A lot of people talk about Rallo and a lot of people that go on, not just Vlad TV, but other programs. You'd be surprised. Even people on the Breakfast Club, I said a lot of stuff as well. I was looking into that too. Telling their business and incriminating themselves, man. Do you think, SamAnt, that The Haven is snitching on Jay-Z?
I don't know if he's snitching. I know he's damn sure trying to.
Telling.
He's trying to.
It's
all
crazy.
Day long. And like you talked about earlier when we were running down the lineup, whatever aside, he was on Choke No Jokes platform and didn't want to give up or talk about anything. Nope. Ice cold about everything. And then he jumps on Vlad TV, and like you said, the makeup's ready, the suit and tie, he's ready to go on ahead and do what people do on Vlad TV. So yeah, hell yeah, him and Vlad were trying to go ahead and stir up some shit. Now, I don't think it will, but it does raise the question, if in fact Jay-Z is trying to get into politics. I wouldn't get into politics, because all of this shit's coming up. They're gonna talk to everybody. People are ready to talk. He ain't gonna be the only one. They're gonna have all kind of dirt. I don't think he's getting into politics. After seeing some shit like that, I don't think he's getting into politics.
Yeah, and you got to ask yourself the question, like you look at guys like Dame and The Haven and whatnot, and these people that have been excommunicated, not blackballed, but pretty much that Rockefeller Rock Nation thing. These are the guys that are not in that inner circle, and maybe this could be one of the reasons why your fucking mouth runs like water. Not Dame so much, but like him and the other cameraman cat, like they telling everything, running off at the mouth. It's just like some things, just leave it in the past. Let Jay-Z talk about on his raps every now and again, him losing 90 keys or something like that. But for you to sit down and then narrate the whole drug operation and what Jay used to do, of course people want to hear it, but I mean, it's just not my style, man. It's not our style, the way we do things. I wouldn't even feel comfortable putting the video up with that type of title, man. It's like